Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Meet the Team for the Indiana Summit 2018. We're so excited. It's our 4th annual summit, and we have lots of fun and interesting information to share tonight. This year's summit is going to be the best summit yet.
We're so excited.
Which is, of course, that's me. Sorry, that's my delay. I don't know how to use this technology. So we have tons to share. It's going to be our best summit yet. And I'm actually going to start welcoming our speakers. So first up to share his story and share sessions with us is Mr. Rushton Hurley.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm so jazzed to be part of this cool team that's going to be part of this cool summit. And so I'm going to tell you all about my sessions in a minute, but I'm already hijacking my time to tell you that if you haven't paid any attention to the Global Student Voice Film Festival, that's at studentvoice.org. That's at studentvoice.org. You really need to give it a look because it's a chance for your kids to tell stories that are amazing, right? And will inspire people all over the world. 2 minutes or less, you know, and answering the theme of In Another's Shoes. It can either be a biographical sketch or an original story. And we're looking for you to get some stories in there. So if you have not done that, then rise to the occasion. So I've got these different sessions I'm going to be presenting. I've got a keynote called The Fun and Cool of Getting Better. And if you've ever thought that it's like this big, hard, difficult thing to become like better as a teacher, we're going to disabuse you of that notion. It's good fun and looking forward to talking to you about that. And then I've got these 4 sessions. One of the sessions is called Much Better Staff and Team Meetings, because most of you are kind of in that space where you're like, I could do a better staff meeting. I'm up for that. Yes. And I'll show you how. There's also activities for starting class strong, because if you don't start class strong, you're just like, oh yeah, and the kid's like, well, and you know, that too many of those noises and you're hating life, right? So I'm going to help you start classes really strong and so that the kids are focused on their work and getting into some possibilities right away. That's fun. If you're like not into having fun, that's the wrong session for you. And then I've got 2 sessions on digital media, one called The Power of Images for Teaching and Learning, and another called The Power of Simple Video. And in both cases, we're going to be talking not just about what these tools can do, but how you can use them to really inspire kids to see better possibilities in themselves. I am so excited to be part of this, and I will now hand it back to Lisa so that she can get somebody with far more reasonable energy on the screen for what we got going. So there you go. Can't wait to meet you guys.
Thanks, Rushton. We need that energy. And next, I'm going to ask our second keynote speaker. We've got 2 out of our 3 keynote speakers with us tonight. George, would you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your sessions?
Hi, my name is George Barcenas. I'm from, I know I have the window closed right now because it's pouring rain outside, but it's Santa Rosa, California. Usually it's really sunny and beautiful out here. But I am really excited about making my first trip to Indiana. I met Blake, and he always told me that Indiana is the best. And so I'm actually kind of excited to be able to step in his hometown and see this. But I am really into this whole concept right now of student voice and helping you develop schools tools to identify how you can communicate with them. So I'm going to share my screen right now and kind of just go through a couple quick things with you guys so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So the concept that I have that I've worked with is this whole concept of Frankentech, of being able to find a way to communicate with students in a way that you use their voice and the way they acknowledge information. So I have 4 sessions that I try to build off that. The first one I want to kind of talk to you guys is Google Draw. If you've never used it, this is the first drawing I've ever did in my life. And then this is kind of where I'm at now. And then I go through a couple tutorials on how you guys can do that. Because if you don't understand how students process, you kind of miss out on some awesome things you can do with them. Another thing I do is I like to do Google Slides, where I like to look at the way that we use slides to be able to present information. So I'll show you how to use slides to be able to divide images and to be able to show it one section at a time. Another thing that I like to do is making YouTube videos in the classroom by using WeVideo and different programs to be able to process green screen. So kind of want to show you guys how to do that. And I wrap it up with coding. So I have a coding session where I go through and I show you how you can make your own apps with the code.org, and also show you the curriculum and how to do that. So this is my little app that I created using code.org that scans and changes depending on what you go. So to wrap it up, I want to make sure you guys understand there's one story that I want to tell you that fits with this whole thing. Is that if I asked you guys a question, if you guys can remember a time before cell phones, most of us would be able to answer that question as yes, of course we remember a time before cell phones. We remember a time when we had the big block and we didn't have the phones that we have today. But if you ask your students, do you remember a time before cell phones? That's when the conversation starts. And that's where I want to take my keynote and kind of talk to you guys about how to communicate, how to help your students, and more importantly, how to communicate with digital natives. So those are my sessions. I think I talked fast enough there.
Thanks, George. That was awesome. I think after Rushton and George, like, I just need a break. I need to, like, calm down the energy. So before I ask Jess to talk, I'm just going to quick screen share with everyone. And, oops, no, I'm not. Yeah, best laid plans. Let's try this again. All right. So for those of you that are watching, I just want to give you the address to go ahead and register. So the Indiana Summit this year, the pre-summits are going to be on April 6th. The summit itself is going to be the 7th and 8th. We love Franklin Community Schools. They are amazing, amazing hosts with a beautiful, beautiful facility, especially the theater. Please go to events.edtechteam.com/Indiana2018. And don't forget that there are 2 pre-conferences on April 6th. So we've got our Chrome device implementation. So that's more of a technical retreat. And then we've got our clerical classified boot camp that actually our presenter for that's on with us tonight. So when it's Jesse's turn to talk, maybe he'd like to talk a little bit more about that. All right, so I'm going to stop screen sharing. And Jess, would you please talk about yourself and your sessions?
I'm okay with that, but the energy is going to stay the same. Hi from, where am I? Glastonbury, Connecticut. My name's Jess. This will be my 3rd Indiana Summit, and I am so excited to come back. It's going to be amazing. Got 5 sessions to share with you. The first is the most selfish, Google Photos. It will change your life. If you've never done Google Photos before, I highly recommend coming to the Google Photos session. Like George, I'm also going to do a session on Google Drawings. Tons of templates, tons of ways. Like when there's an answer in the school, like, how do I do this, Jess? About 50% of the time, it always comes down to Google Drawings. So I wanted to show you and share you with that session. I've got one of my all-time favorites, the 360-degree storytelling. So if you've never taken a 360 picture, if you don't know how to view your 360 pictures, we'll have a little introduction to some cardboard viewers. Please come to that, how to like augment your 360 pictures. In addition, in the past, I've done Indiana Breakout. But I'm doing this year, I'm going to do build your own Breakout. So I'm going to introduce you to the new Breakout platform and how do you build your own if you're using the new Breakout platform or just a regular Google site with drawings and Google Forms. And finally, I'm unveiling a new session just for Indiana called Thinkers Who Tinker. And if you're down for a cardboard challenge with a tech twist, come to this. I very much am excited to give you this hands-on experience. It's going to be high energy, it's going to be full of resources, and it's going to be infused with all the different Google tools that you know and love. So I look forward to seeing you, Indiana. Lisa, quick question before I move on. Is there a student summit in Indiana this year?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny you bring that because we're going to be doing a student summit on April 6th at Franklin Community Schools Middle School. So that's going to be super exciting. And Rushton and Jess are going to be, and Blake is leading it. It's going to be super fun.
Yay.
So much for mentioning that. Okay, so the next person wins the awards. Ties with me for the most number of Indiana summits ever attended. Jesse.
I love the Indiana Summit. So we are fortunate enough to travel all over the place. And I have to tell you, every year I just keep my fingers crossed to hope I'm going to go back to Indiana because it is so much fun. Matt Sprout, Matt's not in the chat, is he? Matt puts on, if you have not been to this summit, this is a great way to get indoctrinated into the world of EdTechTeam. So I'm really excited to, did we say the theme? Was there a theme announcement?
Well, there is a theme announcement. I'm waiting to see if Matt joins us. Now, Matt isn't with us right now because he is working on the GEG meetup with me for Friday night, and he is trying to confirm something amazing.
I'm on the edge of my. I don't know what it's going to be either. So I'm waiting. I actually want Matt to show up so I can find out what it is. But super excited to come back to Franklin. As Lisa mentioned before, I'm actually coming in a day early to lead the Clerical Classified Boot Camp, which we've run in a bunch of different. I apologize if you hear the crying baby in the background. She's not coming to Indiana, so she's upset.
You know of.
Yeah. So yeah, the Clerical Boot Camp, we've run a bunch of different events. Always a great time, always a lot of learning. We create some incredible workflows on how to improve practice in an office setting. So definitely something to consider if you're from a district and you know that would benefit your staff, definitely something to bring to their attention. And in terms of sessions, you know, this year is going to be interesting. I've revamped some old ones. I still will be in full costume for my Revenge of the Sheets Darth Vader session. And the one I am the most excited about, though, is actually one that was not. It was the brainchild of my good friend Jeff Heil here. It's Give Geo a Chance. And Jeff and I and several others on the team sit on the Geo Google Earth Advisory Board. And what we've done is this Give Geo a Chance session is our chance. It's 1 hour where we can basically show you everything that's going on in the world of Google Geo. There's going to be some guests. A lot of members of the team are going to be popping in and out of that session to kind of show you what they're working on. And it's really just a great opportunity. Jeff, I'm going to schedule you for it, so you have to be there. Stop shaking your head no. And it's just a really great chance for you to see you know, what's going on with Google Geo. And if you're not already aware of what's going on with Google Geo, it's definitely something you're going to want to leave this Indiana Summit knowing more about.
Thanks, Jesse. All right, so we've got someone new on the team this year, which is great. Besides George and Rushton, Wiley, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're going to be showing us.
Hi, everyone. I am Wiley Brazier V. I am actually, like Lisa said, I am a new face here. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And this will be my first Indiana Summit. So I am super excited about coming and joining everyone and having a great time there. Some of my sessions, one of them is entitled Admins Gone Google. And it's going to be a great session for any administrator or any instructional leader who wants to use Google in order to continue to refine their practice, in order to work more efficiently, in order to go hand in hand with something that I love that you all just mentioned, that there's going to be a clerical summit. So it'll be great to be able to get some of those administrators into the session so that they can see how they can continue to improve themselves and help them and their schools function more efficiently during that session. Another session that I'm going to be doing is all about reading, writing, and vocabulary tools for the Google Classroom, for the G Suite Classroom. And so we're going to be doing showing a lot of great extensions, a lot of great resources that teachers can use with their students in order to help them to perform at higher levels, in order to differentiate for those different types of learners that we have in the classroom, and also if there are any ESL kids in the classroom, to be able to support them as well. There's going to be another session, Get AAA, and that is access to automating assessments. So we're going to be using Google Forms in order to show people how they can automate a lot of their assessments and everything, and in addition be able to spend less time grading so that they can spend more time focused on redelivering the instruction and modifying their lessons so that they can help students achieve at higher levels. So that's going to be a really great session as well. Another session that we're going to do is kind of similar to the Admins Gone Google, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper for all types of instructional leaders, and it's called Making Time to Lead. So as a former school site principal myself, I know that time management can be an issue for many administrators and instructional leaders. So in this session, it's going to be all about time management and different tools that you can use, Google tools that you can use in order to make sure that you are making time to get into those classrooms and be able to provide that feedback. And and being able to provide that feedback for teachers so that they can grow and help to positively impact kids as well. And then I think the last session that I have is got certified. Okay, so want to make sure that everyone is informed about all the various certifications that are available to you, how you can get Google certified, and what it takes to do that. So I'm like super stoked about coming to Indiana and having a great time and meeting, connecting, and learning with everyone there.
Wiley, we're super excited to have you. Your sessions sound amazing, and I can't wait to meet you in person. I've heard such good things. All right, folks. So he took last year off, but he's back. Jeff Heil.
Let's be fair. I didn't take last year off. I was working during the Indiana Summit. I was just doing it from Auckland, New Zealand. I think you can all forgive me for that.
You hear the sad trombone?
Wiley, I think I counted like 14 sessions you just ran down. So I am just going to watch Wiley's sessions. I don't need to do anything when the guy's going to bring out that kind of heat. So I will just be watching Wiley and supporting him through his 14 sessions. You know, and I guess I'd have to give him my money. But I'm super excited to come to Indiana again. I love me some Indiana. I've made it through hot air balloons, Indiana, Indianapolis 500 race cars, airplanes, gigantic Google map pins where we ran around the city. So I'm super stoked to come back this year again. And I'm like Jesse, I'm looking for Matt. Matt's got something up his sleeve. I'm waiting for him to release it. And I keep looking at Blake's picture on the panel, and he sort of looks like an image of himself. He looks like a male model over there. He hasn't even moved. He's just like the man chiseled in blue. I can't tell the difference between video and images with him. I'm doing a number of sessions. All of them should be new to Indiana. I've got avatars, memes, and GIFs. Oh my, probably the most fun. And essentially it's to show you, it's like the caveman theory. Like if I can use Google Drawing to make avatars and to make memes, anyone can. If you want like amazing skill, go see George Barsanis. But if you want to believe that you can do this, come see me, because I have like zero artistic talent, and you'll walk out of there with the ability to make a really cool avatar of yourself, and also learn how easy it is to make GIFs with your phone. And yes, it's GIFs, not GIFs. And if you need to see that video of the actual creator, Rushton, saying that actually both in verb and in display, I can share that with the whole crew when I get to Indiana. I'm also doing the First Rule of Sites Club, and so obviously I will only be able to talk about it for the people that are in the session. I'm doing one called Avatars, or I already said that, didn't I? I'm doing What the Hack, which is just a fun sort of run through the rabbit hole of a bunch of really cool tips and tricks on everything Google, from your browser to Sheets to Slides to sending virtual flowers to people. So I'm very excited to come, and the panel that you have below you, they are amazing. So I'm just happy to be in their company. But I have one thing that they don't have, and it is the San Diego weather. So while George is sitting in the rain and the rest of you are freezing, I am about to walk down to the beach after this. So I'll turn it back over to Lisa.
Thanks, Jeff. Actually, it was 65 degrees here in New Jersey today. Balmy.
Wow. What state's that in?
Ha 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 ha. The Garden State, right, Rushton? All right, I'm going to screen share one last time and just go over some of those super important links that everybody needs. So we want you to register for the 4th Annual Indiana Summit. The pre-summits are on April 6th. The summit itself at Franklin Community High School is April 7th and 8th. Events.edtechteam.com/Indiana2018. The pre-summits, and there's still room in both of them. We've got Chrome device implementation. That's pretty much all your technical stuff. And then with Jesse Levinsky himself, we've got the Clerical Classified Bootcamp. Everything that anyone in that type of role needs to know with regards to G Suite. Okay, so I'm going to stop presenting and ask the lead of our student summit on Friday, Blake Everhart, to tell us a little bit about himself.
Yeah, I'm sitting here in the rainy weather so much that my backyard is flooded, so I don't need a beach because I literally jump out the window to hit water here, which is terrible. But really excited to work in Indiana with the people that that challenged me and kind of helped make who I am. So really excited for that. I remember last year, my former language arts teacher when I was in high school attended my session, and Mrs. Bergdahl, if you're out there, I'm expecting to see you. I know you'll be there. So really cool session, really excited about the Student Summit. Love engaging kids and showing them new ways of doing things. Hopefully the teacher's going to step in and see some of the things that are going on with Jeff and Rustin as well. Or Jess, not Jeff. And starting off with coding, just going beyond the hour of code, how to leverage some of those resources to get your students' needs where they should be, alleviate some of the stress of understanding, how to use coding in your classroom. VR 360, just different ways of being able to create 360, not just using it and consuming it, how you can leverage it across all curricular areas. Using apps for EDU, just different apps that again, used to engage kids that can be structured within a curriculum aspect. And then a introduction to Makerspace, which is, there'll be some challenges going on. We'll also talk about resources, what it looks like, how to get resources. And then a really unique spin on Makerspace, which involves all participation. So we start off basically by talking about real life makerspaces, basically defining a problem and seeing how people have really attached that makerspace objective to creating a product or a solution. And get our classes to think bigger and wider. And again, this is truly participation. This is not a cut and dry get resources. This is a conversation of what we can do and how we can put our heads together to try to build something bigger. So.
Super exciting, Blake. Thank you so much. All right, so I pinged Matt to see if he would join us at the last minute, but he is working on our super secret Friday surprise, so we'll have to excuse him. And I'm also going to back off on announcing our theme this year, but it's big. And so we hope to see you at the Indiana 2018 Summit, April 7th and 8th. Come join us a day early for one of the pre-summits. And thanks, everybody. Actually, somebody just changed their avatar, or he's in the call twice. Oh, George. That is so funny. Okay, so, all right. All right, guys, wave bye. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.